Hey guys. Hey, happy Veterans Day. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Let's talk about it as we continue this conversation. I have to go live now because I have an event to go to, so I didn't want to not go live at all today. So come on in and talk to me for a little bit before I have to go. I've been lazy all day, chilling, just chilling out. Happy Tuesday. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all servicemen and women if you are on here or not. We appreciate everything you guys have done. Welcome on in. Hit the like as you come in. Let's talk about it. Happy Tuesday. Let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from. Say hey so I can say hey back as you come into the building. Yeah, so we're going to just continue having this conversation because while the Senate did come to a conclusion, there's a lot of things still up in the air that's not resolved. And while I don't see there being another shutdown, we still don't know exactly when the government is going to open up. I think it has to get to Donald Trump's desk for his signature before that happens. But as we continue the days, people are getting at least half of their food stamps, their EBT benefits. So that's a good thing. But there's a lot more to be resolved that's not resolved. So come on in. As I said, we're going to go live now because I may not be able to come live later because I have an event to go to. Talk a little bit about Kada Scott and the investigation that's ongoing in that unaliving of her. This past Saturday was her funeral. It was so pretty. Everyone showed up for her, and they have put her to rest. But the investigation still is moving forward. So I'm going to talk about that just a little bit as well. As you come in, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. It keeps us in the algorithm. It's a free way to support our channel. Yeah, I'll just wait just a few more minutes and then I'll get started. All right, so as it pertains to the government shutdown, we are finding out that as of yesterday, the Senate has come to an agreement. Democrats have agreed to get this, hello, George, to get the government back open so that, you know, people can start to get back to some sense of normalcy.
I'll meet you down there.
And so,
I'll meet you down there.
yeah.
All right, we finna go.
All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about it. So basically, I'll start over. We're talking about the government shutdown really quick and how they've come to some sense of agreement on this. The Democrats have finally said, okay, let's get this government back open. They have agreed to start distributing the food stamps and the EBT benefits and all of that. But there's still unresolved issues around the healthcare situation, which they said. Now, they're not promising that they're going to go along with the healthcare scenario that the Democrats are proposing, but they are saying, okay, in December, hey, One Pav, thank you for stopping by. Thank you so much. The Democrats are saying, listen, if you guys would just hear us out, come to the table, let's talk about it. Maybe we can extend this Obamacare for another year. But what they're actually saying, what is being reported is that Republicans are not going to really go for extending the Obamacare for another year. But we can bring it to the table and we can talk about it, but we already have our minds made up. So just not sure what that's going to look like. But what we are glad about is even people around where I am, they are starting to get their benefits. Even if it's half of what they've been used to getting, they do have something so they can get food for their children, which is a good thing. So that's really, so the Democrats are saying, when they were asked, I was watching a newscast and they were asked, like, why did you guys fold after being shut down for what, 40 days, whatever, however many days the government's been shut down, the longest in American history, right? Why did you guys fold? Why did you decide to just be like, give in pretty much? And basically they're saying it's not the fact that we folded or given in. What we're arguing is the healthcare in the United States of America, where we feel like every American should be able to have affordable health care. What we are also saying is that it's ridiculous to not have the government open and for people to not get food, because no one in the US of America should be going hungry, right? So that's basically what they're saying. Welcome, you guys. I'm not turning the camera on right now. I'm not in a position where I can do that, but we're just gonna have this live here. Happy Veterans Day again to those men and women who served our country. We appreciate you guys. And I hope that you guys have had a good day. So basically, we don't know. It's still like, in order for the government to be totally open, it's going to have to make it to Donald Trump's desk for him to sign off on it. And even with it being opened, like say even it opens tomorrow, it's still going to be a couple of days or a week, whatever, for things to get back to some sense of normalcy, right? And whatever normal is these days, because I don't know what that looks like. But yeah, so the good thing is though that even though people are saying, well, the Democrats sold out because they waited and held out for, what has it been like? I don't even know how many days it is today that it's been shut down. But even though they've held out for that long, they like, I don't know, gave in to the situation, but really not, because their fight again was only the healthcare, which makes sense. No one in the richest country in the world, the United States, one of the richest countries in the world, why do we have people going hungry? It's 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 un, it's ridiculous. And so I guess that's how they came to their conclusion. Open this government back up, get people back to work. And then I guess my other question would be like, okay, you open the government. You guys, if you would hit the like and make it match, please. Just, it's a free way to support the channel. And I appreciate it so much. The other thing to this government shutdown, as we all know, are the furloughs and the people working for free. Like, even if they, I guess my question would be, hold on just a second, y'all. All right, sorry about that, you guys. All right. So, even if the government opens tomorrow, question is this: How quickly are we going to be? How quickly are they going to retro back and pay these people that has been going to work every day for free? That's my question. Like, are we going to drag our feet? We're going to get these people paid. I just was looking at a young man on the TV, and his kids were asking the normal stuff because they don't understand. Like, can we go to the football game? Can I want to join this program? I want to join this sports, but being now having to tell them that they can't do that is crazy. I'm gonna show you how, just like this. There we go. All right, so let's move on really quick. As I said before, I won't be able to go live on time tonight because I do have an event to attend that I'll be leaving here in just a little while. So I wanted to touch on Kada Scott really quick because that is a story that we are covering. So let's talk about it really quick. Shout out to shout out to oh man, hold on. What's his name? I forget his name. I'm sorry. But anyway, Fugitive Fugitive TV. Sorry. Shout out to Fugitive TV. I could not think of it. Um and a shout out to Nicole for covering this story. Both of them, particularly Nicole on TikTok, is catching a lot of flack about her covering this story, the Kada Scott story. She's out of Texas, but she does have a lot of people out of Philadelphia that comes on her lives, and she's bringing, the story as she gets the information. And people are really down on her a lot. Some of them are. America really has to straighten up with the money. Yeah, I agree with that, Pat. I think right now I feel like there's a lot of mishandling of a lot of stuff, right? And I don't know how. I, ugh, you have to be careful with your words here, but I don't know how you fix it with this administration. I did hear, Donald Trump talk about how he was going to administer checks of about or up to $2,000 to people. Um, um, it would be to the middle class and lower class citizens. For I guess I don't know what for the shutdown or whatever, but yeah, I think you're right. We have to be smarter with how we spend money and how we handle things. And I feel like, again, we're not. How do we push that, or how does that work? How do they come to the table and have that conversation and really put and implement a strategy to stop so much spending, to get control over it, with the administration that you have, where you have an administration that does what they want to do. So it's kind of hard. It's an uphill. It's always an uphill battle, I think, but it could be better. And like people are saying, well, I'm not gonna vote no more. I'm not gonna vote. We have to. I feel like we still have to vote, these people in that are for the right thing. But I just, at this point, you're right. Like, how do we implement lower spending in America? How do we get back to where we used to be? I go back and I'm thinking, when I was growing up, maybe I just didn't understand or just didn't hear it. It just didn't feel like this. So, anyway, yeah, I don't know. Right now, what I'll say is it's a tough administration, and I think everybody just does what the administration says do. That's just my opinion. Um, Pap, have you looked at the Kada Scott case at all? Do you even do those? But anyway, I wanted to talk about it again a little bit. So, yeah. But we're supposed to be like, right? We're supposed to be the richest country in the world. So, how is it that, let me just hush. I don't know how I even got on politics, because I never touch on politics because it's so much frustration, it's so much back and forth, it's so much disagreement. Like, I usually don't touch it, but I mean, I guess it just touched. You don't? Okay. Um I guess you don't. I felt like I didn't have no choice but to come out and talk about it when I see my fellow employees or my fellow coworkers being furloughed, or family members or friends that because of a government shutdown is not getting what they are, what's due to them. Yes, a lot of people depend on the government to come through for them. And when you say you care about the people and in God we trust and we do things the godly way, and we just don't see that happening. It's just too intertwined. You're right. It's too entangled. Like, I feel like, and the struggle is from the bottom up, right? That's the struggle, not from the top down. Well, maybe it's the struggle is from the top down, because it starts at the top. Which I feel like if things were in order and in place and done the right way, and the things are done the right way, I don't feel like it'll be such a struggle. I don't feel like money would be an issue if we handled it properly. I don't feel like a government shutdown would happen if we had people at the table that could have adult conversations and come to a happy medium. Whether I agree with some things, I might agree with some things, but I don't agree with this. Can we come to a happy medium to not have this situation to happen again? But again, it's too entangled. It's just what I think. It's just my thoughts. Um. Anyway, let me move on because I gotta go to this event. So really quick, Kada Scott. Shout out to Fugitive TV. Shout out to Nicole. So what they're finding out is that there is, what they're hearing alleged, there is an informant allegedly that is working for law enforcement, and the Fugitive TV was able to talk to an inmate that is locked up with Keon King. And they're finding out that what they're saying is there is an informant in this whole situation. And this is what we thought, that there was an informant because of the fact of the anonymous caller. We're like, who's the anonymous caller that knew that where her body was, and to direct them back to that body? Who is the anonymous caller? Is the anonymous caller the informant? They say they know who the informant is, but they will not say the name of the informant, of course. They don't want to witness tamper, or anything like that. So, as they continue to investigate, we just are finding out that possibly, well, and I won't even say possibly, there's a lot of people's hands are not clean in this situation. And eventually, Whenever those detectives and investigators get done with them, somebody's going to fold. Somebody's going to fold, and somebody's going to tell it all. I feel like they're not giving us a lot of what we need to kind of put the pieces together, is because they do have a trial that has to happen. But what Nicole thinks is, allegedly, if there was going to be a sentence today, if there was going to be a trial today, that Keon Keaton would get off of this. He would beat the case because of lack of evidence. Now, that's just lack of evidence that we know of. We don't know if there's other evidence right now. So, because of lack of evidence, is what she feels. And a lot of people feel like if he was to go in front of a jury today and they had to make a decision, he would probably beat the case because of lack of evidence. But then I beg to differ that, because what about the videos? There's videos, footage. Videos don't lie. There are text messages, phone calls that don't lie, right? So I'm just not sure if I would say totally that he would get off of the that he would get off scot free. Oh, hey, Bad Bunny. So the anonymous caller should come forward if he gets loose. If he gets loose out that cage, he might come for them. Yeah, I'm saying. You never know, right? You don't know what anybody's mindset is when they're put in a situation like that, right? Thank you for the heart, y'all. Thank y'all so much. So, but I feel like, but Bad Bunny, that it's like, is the anonymous caller, but can that anonymous caller come forward if he or she is the alleged informant? Because they're saying that they know for a fact, allegedly, that there is, in fact, an informant in this case. And I feel like, yeah, I don't know. So, what we're looking at is there's an informant, allegedly. There is an anonymous caller that we don't know who this caller is that knew exactly where to guide them. So if you knew where to guide them to find her body, what else do you know? And how did you know that? Were you a part of it? Did somebody come to you and talk to you about it and tell you where the body was because they were a part of it? Like there's a lot that we want to know. But I feel for Nicole, because Nicole is getting a lot of information, just like Fugitive TV, and they're getting this information and they're only sharing it out as they get it. It's not like, they're not saying this is factual, what I know for facts. They're saying what I think with what I have. There may be an informant. There may be more evidence. There may not be enough evidence. We just don't know. But at the end of the day, what we don't want is for it to fall by the wayside. So the good thing is there is somebody arrested and sitting in jail for this. There are other people that they're talking to that could probably give them more information so that it doesn't fall by the wayside and become a cold case. Like I feel like the Celeste investigation, the Celeste unaliving, is going towards a cold case, because even law enforcement, and I hate to jump to another case, but law enforcement in the David and Celeste case, law enforcement out in LA is saying they don't even think this was an unaliving. Now you tell me, how in the world is this not an unaliving and this person was found dismembered in the back of a trunk? What she do, dismember herself and jump in the trunk? No. So I don't even feel like they're doing enough out there in LA on this case. We're basically saying that David, the singer, is cleared of it all. But there's a lot of little pieces, right, that it feels like they're giving up on that case, which we don't want that to happen in the Kada Scott case, or in no case. We want justice to be brought. So anyway, those are my thoughts for now. Sorry to rush through this live. I have an event to go to here in just a little bit. So I wanted to come live before I have to go to my event. Kind of see what y'all thinking. I appreciate everybody stopping by. I appreciate, everybody joining in the conversation. I really certainly appreciate your likes. So hit the like if you're in here and you forgot to do so, because it does support the channel for free and it keeps us in the algorithm because we are headed to 10K. We're trying to get there. So we appreciate you guys. Anyway, so I'm gonna go for now. If I do go live, it will be later than the usual time, which we usually go late anyway, but it'll be later. Just wanted to come and touch bases on those couple of things, see what you guys were thinking. Leave your comments, hit the like. If you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's lit over here, y'all. It's lit. Bad Bunny, One Pap, everybody else that came, thank y'all for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'll be checking you out, One Pap, if you post like always. I thank you for being here. You guys have a good evening. Again, salute to the all of the men and women that has served our country, is serving our country, is going to serve our country. Thank you. You guys have a good night. Maybe we'll be back later on this evening. If not, there'll be a few shorts that I'll load. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.